This is the story of Anthony Sowell, a quiet man who lived alone in a crumbling house on Imperial Avenue. To his neighbors, he was polite, soft-spoken, even helpful. But behind the walls of that house was a nightmare. For years, the smell of death filled the air, and nobody knew why. Until police finally opened the door and uncovered one of the darkest crimes in modern American history. Anthony Edward Sowell was born in 1959 in East Cleveland. His childhood was steeped in violence, his mother was abusive, and he grew up in a home filled with fear and humiliation. As a teenager, he joined the Marine Corps, where he served for several years. He seemed disciplined, stable, normal. But beneath the surface, something darker was growing, a desire for power and control. After his discharge, he returned to Cleveland, jobless, lonely, and angry. And that's when the real darkness began. By the early 2000s, Sowell lived in a two-story house at 12,205 Imperial Avenue, a poor neighborhood filled with abandoned homes and attics. He kept to himself. Neighbors called him Tony, the quiet guy with the pit bulls. But inside his home, the walls hid a secret no one could imagine. Sowell had begun luring women into his house, mostly vulnerable women from the area, those struggling with addiction or homelessness. He would offer them drugs or shelter, and once inside, they never left. Between 2007 and 2009, women began to vanish from the neighborhood. Families searched, but police dismissed many reports. The victims were poor, addicted, unreliable. Neighbors noticed a terrible smell coming from Sowell's house. He told them it was from bad meat, or from the sausage factory next door. No one questioned it further, but behind those excuses were corpses. He strangled his victims, hid their bodies in the attic, basement, crawl spaces, even buried them in the backyard. He lived among the dead, breathing in decay every day, as if nothing had happened. On October 29, 2009, everything unraveled. A woman named Latundra Billups escaped from Sowell's home, half-dressed and terrified. She ran to the police and told them he had attacked her. When officers arrived with a warrant, Sowell wasn't there. But what they found inside left them speechless. The smell hit them first, thick, suffocating. Then they began to find the bodies. 1, 2, 3. By the end of the search, 11 women had been found. Some buried, some wrapped in plastic, some decomposing in the open. The horror was beyond comprehension. Sowell was arrested days later, hiding in a nearby house. He showed no emotion, no remorse. At trial, he claimed he didn't remember killing anyone, but the evidence, DNA, clothing, and the victim's remains, was undeniable. In 2011, he was convicted on 82 counts, including murder, rape, and kidnapping. He was sentenced to death. Families of the victims described the pain of being ignored for years, how the police had brushed off their missing reports because of who the women were. Sowell sat in silence, eyes cold, expression blank, as mothers and sisters screamed his victims' names. Anthony Sowell remained on death row until 2021, when he died of a terminal illness. Never executed, never apologizing. His house on Imperial Avenue was demolished. Today, the lot stands empty, a silent graveyard for the forgotten. But the memory lingers in Cleveland, of the man who lived among corpses, the smell everyone ignored, and the warning signs no one saw. Because sometimes, evil doesn't hide in the dark. Sometimes it lives right next door, and everyone can smell it. They just choose to look away.